All right, let's dive right in. In the crazy fast world of tech, trying to pick the right programming language for 2026 is a huge deal, especially now that AI is completely changing the board. So, what languages are actually going to land you a job? Let's break it down. Okay, let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way, shall we? You've seen the headlines, I've seen them. AI is coming for our jobs, junior dev roles are history. It's a real fear. And you know what? It absolutely feels like the ground is shifting under our feet. But what's really going on here? What does the data say? We'll get this, and this might actually surprise you. Instead of disappearing, job listings for developers with 0 to 3 years of experience have shot up by 47% since late 2023. So, no, the jobs aren't gone, but they are different. The work has changed, and frankly, the bar to get in the door is just higher now. And this whole shift has created a new way of working that people are calling vibe coding. It's this idea that instead of typing out every single semicolon yourself, you're now using AI assistants, guiding them with plain English to generate the code for you. You're less of a bricklayer and more of an architect. The game isn't over, not by a long shot. The rules have just changed. And look, this isn't some niche thing for early adopters. A massive Stack Overflow survey found that 70%, 70, of developers are either already using these AI tools or are planning to jump on board. This is the new normal, folks. So the real question is, which languages are set up to ride this massive AI wave? Let's kick things off with the languages that are perfectly positioned to just thrive in this new world. We're talking about the languages where AI acts like a super-powered co-pilot strapped right into the cockpit with you. So, check this out. For the first time in a decade, Python has actually overtaken JavaScript as the most used language on GitHub. Now, that's not just a small blip on the radar, that's a seismic shift, and it's being driven almost entirely by the generative AI boom. So what's the deal? Why is Python surging like this? Well, it's pretty simple. Python is the official language of AI and machine learning, period. And that has created this incredible feedback loop, right? There's so much Python code out there for AI assistants to learn from, which makes them amazing at writing more Python code, which in turn just makes more people want to use Python. As you can see, these tools are just fantastic at spitting out things like data scripts, web backends, and all sorts of automation. But hold on, don't go writing off the king of the web just yet. While Python is having its moment in the AI sun, JavaScript and its awesome typed sibling TypeScript are still used by a staggering 62% of all developers. If you're building anything that touches a web browser, this is still your kingdom. And for JS developers, AI is like having the best co-pilot you could ever ask for. I mean, think about the millions upon millions of JavaScript projects that these AIs have been trained on. That's why they're so good at generating complex front-end components for React, spinning up Node.js APIs, and even writing your tests for you. It's a huge, huge productivity boost. And this whole productivity thing, it's not just for the trendy web languages. You won't believe where it's having one of the biggest impacts: Java. Yeah, Java. A GitHub study found that Java devs using Copilot get a mind-blowing 61% of their code generated by AI. That's the highest of any major language. So, why Java? Well, it's because Java has, let's say, a reputation for being a bit wordy, right? All that boilerplate code, getters, setters, verbose classes. It's super predictable, it follows strict patterns, and that makes it the perfect thing for an AI to just handle for you. This frees up Java developers to stop worrying about the tedious stuff and focus on what actually matters, the complex business logic. It makes the language feel so much faster. Okay, so we've seen how AI is turbocharging the languages we already use. But what about the languages that are building totally new stuff, like the whole world of blockchain and other high-performance systems? First up, we've got to talk about Solidity. If you've heard anything about Web3, DeFi, or NFTs, then you've heard about the language that powers them. Solidity is the go-to language for writing smart contracts that run on blockchains like Ethereum. So what is this stuff actually used for? Well, Solidity is the engine behind the entire Web3 universe. It's what powers everything from decentralized exchanges that don't need a bank to NFT marketplaces for digital art, and even these new ways of organizing communities called DAOs. It's the language that literally turns code into law on the blockchain. But what about building the foundations, the actual blockchains themselves? That's where two heavyweights come into play: Rust and Go. Think of it like this. Rust is all about squeezing out every last drop of performance while guaranteeing memory safety. That's why super fast chains like Solana are built with it. Go, on the other hand, is all about keeping things simple and handling a ton of things at once, which makes it perfect for building the backbone of giants like Ethereum.
All right, so what about the other big names, the languages that have been the bedrock of the industry for years? Well, AI is breathing new life into them too.
Let's do a quick lightning round. You've got C#, the heart of the .NET world, and Unity game dev getting a massive boost from AI generating web APIs and game scripts. PHP, which still quietly powers a huge slice of the internet thanks to WordPress, is getting a modern makeover as AI helps clean up old code. And for Ruby on Rails developers, AI is a total pro at handling all that boilerplate code, making web development way, way faster. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. We've looked at the AI wave, the blockchain frontier, the modernized classics, but after all that, the biggest question is still sitting there. How do you pick the right path for yourself? Look, there's no magic bullet here. There is no single best language. The right call always depends on your specific situation. You've got to ask yourself some honest questions. What am I actually trying to build? Where is this thing going to run? What do I or my team already know? How fast does it really need to be? And is there a good community out there to help me when I get stuck? Answering those questions, that's the real secret. At the end of the day, here's what it all boils down to. Chasing whatever's hot this week is a fool's game. The smart move is to pick the tool, the language, that is a perfect match for your career goals and for the kind of projects you are genuinely excited to build. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a different way to think about all this. In this new era, the power dynamic is changing. It's becoming less about which language is technically the best and so much more about what you, the developer, the creator, can do with it. So the question isn't which language is going to win, it's which future will you build?